Mark JamBritish Golding proves he is not one with us. My people, Skywalker here. This video today is something hard that must be said. We are a people that has always been exploited by white folks, but yet if we answer their words that insults our integrities, they find some cliche words to use to prevent us. I am not falling for insults to our integrities today. I am not falling for that today. Mark Golding's insensitivities to our experiences proves that he cares as much as England cares for Jamaica. England's care for Jamaica in the 80s could be to use Jamaicans here as guinea pigs for poliomyelitis treatments. And while thousands of Jamaicans died, he now brags about his father, who was a white British man who most conveniently was around at that time to be the hero. And many will declare that the hero was the villain today. Many will declare that he was the operative that came here to inflict it on the people in the first place. We know how white people do evil to black people and then do superficial good stuff to declare themselves as saviors that must be worshipped forever by the desperate black populace. In most of these historical instances, because we cannot put our fingers on the exact facts, we find that we speculate. However, when it comes to be a case of possible danger, you throw out everything that is suspicious. It is like how you do with food. Did you think you smell something off? Well, when in doubt, throw it out. Mark Golding's father was a British agent stationed in Jamaica. He had a legacy of a slave master, and that tells of his origins here. Mark now bandies him in our face, so I must reflect the other side of the story, not the white man's side, but the black man's perspective as well. We understand why Mark will ever flaunt the British side. He is British, right? We understand why Mark will always flaunt the white man's side. He is a white man, right? Like his father, who benefited from reparations for having to give up slaves or to abolish slavery. No, who were those slaves that his people enslaved? If you don't know, I won't even tell you. Who were those slaves that Mark Golding benefited a lot from reparations for? If you don't know, I won't even tell you. You always had an insensitive and divisive lying white man presiding over you as long as you can know. And many will trust him, right? To this day, not a single one of us black Jamaicans who were the enslaved has received a British shilling for reparations. So Mark JamBritish Golding was funded by blood money from slavery. So Mark descends from slave masters and we descend from enslaved people. We could say out of many, but in this case, there is more than a catch. We must be very careful. Look at this. Mark Golding is so insensitive that he does not know what is the big issue for him to hold on to a British passport while wanting to become Prime Minister of Jamaica. Only a white man can be as insensitive, and only the descendant of a slave master could care so little for the trauma it is going to put on a Jamaican with any sense in his brain. Everything he says in his defense is an insult to every Jamaican. The only difference is that he can't whip you until you agree. Mark Golding is banking. Mark Golding is banking. Mark Golding is depending on laws that came to Jamaica from the white man, but not on principles concerned with the black man's experiences. I understand that he is white, but the people he wants to lead are 90 odd percent of blacks. Not saying that a white man cannot become prime minister. Edward Siaga did before him. I am saying that it cannot be an insensitive, lying white man directly descended from slave masters. Even if we could say he is not like his fathers before him, his lying, deceitful, anti-black sentimental attitudes should expose who he is, how he gloats and lies. Gloats because he is going to become the pride of his parents. Mark JamBritish Golding has exposed his lack of sensitivities. People like this will use divisive means to seem like one of us. Many will speak of the good they do, just like how his father did, that they could say he did this or that for the people. But thousands died of polio. And one of the main strategies is to say, oh, I have black friends and families. But by now, everyone knows these strategies. It has been used for too many years, too many times, and for too long. How can you have black friends and families and are still not sensitive to the black experience? Why were you numb? And I am not trying to hurl insults. I am not trying to hurl insults. I am acting upon the importance of protecting our people from deceit at all cost. At all cost. Listen, Abraham Lincoln had many black mistresses and children. He sold their asses as slaves, though. The white man was the exact person who created the word bastard that Michael Manley did never like. So, a white man having a black family never convinces me one bit. But Abraham Lincoln was not the only one. History has a plethora of white men that marched into the population and did white man stuff to the country anyway. And any black man who knows history knows what kinds of stuff are white man's stuff. Now, what are the implications of having a British passport? JamBritish Golding speaks about the Commonwealth as one beautiful family. Must be like we are white or something. No, we all know the truth. The Commonwealth is a group of nations comprised of slaves and masters. The masters wanting to subject and exploit the slaves, like look at Haiti, and the slaves wanting to free themselves. At the moment, Britain is killing people in Haiti. Well, they have killed so many recently, and now they are going to fully colonize for iridium, gold, and other resources in Haiti. They are going with other white nations, Israel, Canada, the United States, France. The masters want to subject and exploit the slaves, and the slaves want to be free. And Mark Golding is a son of the masters. So whoever comes to base a sound argument around Commonwealth is also a word that I don't want to use on YouTube today. Mark Golding believes that because it's Commonwealth, it's cool. We don't care about the white man's laws anymore. We care about our freedom. When a white man comes with a British passport telling you it is no big thing, think about your children and their unborn children. Political activists are sold out Jamaicans. Political activists are sold out Jamaicans. They don't care about you, the other black person beside them. They only care about their parties. If any PNP or JLP leader wants to borrow their wives and families for a night, they would gleefully accept. They worship these politicians, but I don't go that way. We must start taking our own priorities seriously and stop making politicians and evil commentators brainwash us. Mark Golding's British passport demands that Mark Golding must support England, his white country, in any difference between England and Jamaica. But Mark still holds it aloft. People, I said, Mark Golding's British passport demands that Mark Golding must support England, his white country, whenever there is a difference between England and Jamaica. And I almost said a word on YouTube that I shouldn't say. Just to ask you, why would you want to go with this? But Mark still holds this thing in our faces. In fact, when you look at all the circumstances and at the fact that he never even desired a Jamaican passport, but took one only when it was convenient, we see that he did denounce one of his passports, the Jamaican one. JamBritish Golding has long denounced his Jamaican passport, at least technically. If Mark Golding can choose a Jamaican passport over a British passport, will he choose Britain over Jamaica? Huh? And remember, Britain has been the most oppressive nation towards us. Why would Jamaicans be stupid enough to choose a leader born from the slave masters who still holds firm to the structure, standards, and beliefs of the slave master and tells us that what is the right principle? In our case, is a non-issue. People. The very fact that Mark said that it is trivial and it is just a distraction from his detractors must be seen as exposing the demon in him. He is not Jamaican, or at least he is not for Jamaica. His father was a British agent and now he behaves like his father. Do you want more revelations than revelations? PJ Patterson, Portia Simpson, Omar Davis, and the rest of your sell-out leaders have an obligation to come and fix this. But will they? They are afraid of their bucky bastards boy picnic. When you look at Mark Golding's face, you see the proud, divisive devil look that he cannot hide, and maybe it scares your icons. Do you see the kind of people you were running behind for years? For all these many years, some of you killed for them. Why don't they come and at least attempt to point you to your national pride and priorities? They can't. They can't. John British might even point you to some of the things they did. So they know they have to shut the I can't say a word that I can't say on YouTube, but they have to shut up. PJ Patterson wants to talk to easy topics. He wants to talk to easy topics. For example, to support a Vibes cartel and take the artist's energy through his supporters. So when he says something good for Vibes cartel, he gathers Vibes cartel supporters for the PNP. This is the type of thing that they do. All they care about is their party. But when it comes to the right thing to do, they cannot. Why is it so? Do they work for Bucky Masa too? People, you know I am not here to mince words. You know me. I know this would be hard for most people to say, but I love my people too much. This is how love must be demonstrated. You protect your own. You know your priorities. Neither Mark Golding, his father, nor any other member of his family that got reparations for being asked to stop sweating you and shedding your blood and tears will never give a shite about you. Are you hearing me? Mark Golding, his father, or his family members that got reparations for being asked to stop sweating you and shedding your blood and tears will never give a shite about you. You believe that all of a sudden they will? Truth has no regard for sentiments. You have to tell it. You just have to tell it. No matter what, you just have to tell the truth. Truth has no regard for sentiments. It matters not how you feel about it being spoken. You might not like to agree with it, but it remains unquestionable. People, this is a positive movement. We cannot be weak and we cannot look back now. Please like this video, share and subscribe, and I will blaze the fire for you. Politicians and their PNP or JLP will not. They are all too easy to sell out, talking about Omar Davis groom white slaveholder picnic to come and be British Prime Minister. Lisa Hanna couldn't do it. Why? Because she a woman? Peace out.